Alright, I wanted to make this video here for you all. It was a link that I saw in the comment section of one of, I believe this was going back as far as August 9th on Vulcan Wolverine's channel. It was I'm not sure if that was a stream. It must have been a stream, but I wasn't able to see the chat box. But anyway, I came across this link down there, and I felt like I definitely needed to share this with you all. Now, a lot of you may be wondering, like, what happened to like the video, like how come I haven't been, posting any videos recently on the Mischievous M's channel. I don't know if you guys got the, notification about the, what is that? The notification of the other channel that I'm using now. I haven't been able to upload a video on that channel yet, but the new channel that I got is called Mischievous M2. I did that because, as you all know, I've already had like a couple of, it was that channel already had the first channel, Mischievous M, already had like a couple of strikes already as it is. So I was leaving that channel alone for a bit, just to get that stuff off, but to also, not just that, but to also to preserve that information on there. Now I believe I took enough of a break off of this one, so I can basically, make a video on here now. But this is just an update video. My primary channel is going to be Mischievous M2. That's when I'm able to, more securely be able to upload content, because right now they're slowing. I'm guessing that, I don't know if maybe the phone manufacturer's doing this. I don't know, possibly so. But they are like, for some reason that phone has turned out to be really slow. But it's just another reasons why I'm getting out of here. Cause stuff is I'm pretty sure most of you have already noticed. A lot of stuff is really getting hectic now. It's not normal. So it's not even. It's not. At first it was bad, but now it's crap. Now it's getting worse, and it's getting worse and worse and worse by the day. Um, wow, I need to put this thing in a more secure location. It's getting busted up like crazy. And if you're wondering what that is, that's my shungite pyramid thing that I got right there to, detoxify this mess that they keep projecting through here. Um, anyway, I'm not really gonna be doing too much as far as videos. I've already told you all that, I'm currently in the middle of gathering materials to get out of here, to live off grid somewhere. Cause living in the city is not gonna it's not gonna be safe at all. Um, the whole bomb thing that went down, I was not expecting that. But when you think about it, there was that video that got played a little while back, and that particular video that got played was a guy who was basically giving out a warning, of they were talking about like how they were warning all the I think it was the Jews or something like that. Like they all need to return to to the churches or whatever, like to Israel or something like that. And things are gonna get like very very dangerous. So when you think about that, and then you see that huge bomb going off. I can't recall what the area was, but when you think about that, right, and you look back that far back, and you're going like something really is going on here, and if what that dude said it was true, then any I don't care where you at, any city, this is their words, not mine. Any city is not safe. Any town is not safe. Anywhere on the grid is just not safe. It's not, and it's because of what these bastards are planning on doing. You see the clip of who was that? Bill Gates talking about some depopulation, depopulation, depopulation. You see them doing these heinous things, pushing for a lot of these crooked laws. People, I don't, I don't believe any of these gang stalkers are gonna ever, not with the amount they're charging for those bunkers. No, hell no. But it just proves my point that these gang stalkers are controlled. They really, really are. Um, I've told, I've said it, I stated, I've lost track of how many times I've gave warnings out to about the food. I've even told my channel's names out there, out publicly, shouted them out even, just to make. I even said it multiple times for people to hear it. Yet I actually witnessed this, and I wouldn't have witnessed it if I wasn't working around them at the time. And I'm still seeing people sitting there poisoning themselves, still eating stuff that they shouldn't be eating, the same stuff that's responsible for programming them, not taking the steps to deprogram themselves, and it's just like, okay, now I know what's really going on here. No, no sane person, if they knew they were being programmed, no sane person who's in control of themselves would allow that. Now, here's the thing about TIs. They're constantly trying to program us. That's like an everyday thing. Every day when we're being beamed with these directed energy weapons, every day that we're being beamed with these implanted thoughts, all that stuff. It's a 24/7 thing that basically they're trying to do. Now, I believe from what one fellow TI told me, they tend to also do this to people at a very younger age. So when that same concept, that person can end up doing something that they have absolutely no idea, and they have absolutely no idea they're being manipulated into doing that specific thing, right? So when you have that concept there, and it was another thing that was attached to the same concept of which this particular TI told me. Fortunately, the name does escape me because this was a while ago. Um, this same TI went on to tell me that it turns out that people who are being manipulated like that tend to come out and break out of this around their 30s. It's funny because when I actually just so happened to hit 30, around the time when this stuff actually went active. So I'm like, something? This is clearly something that was going on. Clearly something that was way going on that was way beyond my control. Way beyond my control, beyond anyone's control except for the people responsible for implementing it. So this is what we're currently dealing with. We're dealing with an issue to where, in my honest opinion, I think it's just these are, a lot of the stuff that's happened is just to keep people in the cities, and the neighborhoods, and the rural areas, all within all of these controlled environments, because this all goes back to yet another video that mentions the same concept, and this was related to C19. People, when I say C19, I am not talking about the virus. This is something entirely different. This is the substance that these perps have been known to use. This is a substance that these perps have been known to lace down on certain surfaces, certain items that you would purchase. And here's the double-edged sword that STIs deal with on a daily basis. Whenever we're doing our day-to-day, activities and stuff like that. Even when we're in our homes, even when we go outside, it's the same thing. You try to go grocery shopping, you mind your business, keep it to yourself, and they lace shit. They lace stuff down. They do this. They keep perps nearby, because they got to make sure you get it. They have to. Otherwise, they're not going to just leave something like that. No, people, this is something that's basically relates to Candida. They can't just leave an item down that's laced, and the reason why is because, well, that's evidence. That's evidence of poisoning. If that gets into somebody else, who they're trying to basically cover up the matrix from, they're probably just gonna have no choice but to let that person get the lawsuit, because if they don't, well, then their cover's blown. They're not gonna risk that. They put too much money in this mess. So there's the gist of that. But also, whenever you leave home, since it's if it's a fixed structure, when you leave, they basically lay stuff down even as you're gone. TIs have had many different attempts of many different problems with intrusion in the past, of home invasions, and so much more. The only difference is, is when it's not, trust me, they would do this even on a freaking compound. They would do it on a compound. The only difference is they don't want to have it to where you can basically have that doorway to open, to ask more and more questions. They want to design the thing to where they can just discredit you, even if it means lying. And I've already told you all once before. I did talk to the property manager about my current issue. The dude flat out lied. I explained to him directly what was going on. Now he's all well on their side. I can already tell. And there was 3 different occasions where he kept saying, "I don't understand what you're talking about," even though I had actually explained it to him 3 different times. But you see, that was already a psyop to basically keep me in a what is that, a repeated state. Because at the same time that you're doing, when you're in a repeated state, that's when they're trying to program you. Brian 2 talks a lot about that, about how they got to keep you in a repeated state. Hence, like when they do send these goons to talk about, let's say like a certain subject, that they used to psyop you. When they bring up these subjects, it's to get you to talk about that subject. It's to keep you perpetuated and keep you on that subject. That's it. It doesn't matter whether the subject's true or not true. It doesn't matter. It's just to keep you in that state of repetitiveness. That's the whole goal in mind for that. TIs, you have to break. If you wish to unprogram yourself from the damn system, you're gonna have to really look at the situation a lot more in depth than when you already have. These perps are most likely just brainwashed zombies at this point. It's very unfortunate that that's the situation, but as far as I can tell, I don't pay no mind to these people at all, even when they do the street theater. I don't play their games. I don't stoop to their spectacle. I don't engage in their bullshit. I do not do any of that. I ignore them. I mind my business, and when I go out to go take care of some business, I go out and take care of some business. Anything gets said, my audio recorder does the work for me. Anything is being shown to me, my camera glasses does the work for me. Other than that, that's it. But even without that stuff, I would still have to remain the same way because, I know what it is. They're just going to be, as long as it doesn't, as long as I condition myself to where it doesn't bother me, then I'm able to break free from from that manipulative control that they're trying to implement onto me. And therefore it renders those attempts useless. There's no point if you can't get a reaction, right? And that brings me to my next point. These perps do specific things to intentionally get a reaction out of you. So don't be fooled by them. Don't. And in fact, I'm gonna tell you a trick that got, that there was an attempt to, be played, and I believe this is around the time when my targeting actually was starting to become, somewhat active, but not too active to where I would officially know, like, okay, there's obviously some shit is going on. At first, I thought these were just random occurrences, but no, it was far from it. I'm gonna tell you one of them specifically, but this shit didn't work, and I saw through it in a minute because I knew what it was. It was just it was a couple that went into this old rundown shop that I went into. It was like a local convenience corner store, like the local candy shop or whatever. Stuff like that you would basically get like really low end items from, like a gas station basically, but with like a gas station with one or two gas pumps. So apparently this couple walks in after me. I'm at the counter. The guy, he's scoping out the area. The female, she ends up doing something what we all know as street theater. She acts loud, obnoxious, and does all kinds of crazy shit. But the entire time this was happening, the guy was on my right hand side, a little, like just close enough to be in my blind spot. And I didn't even pay that woman no mind because I put two and two together and I figured out what it was. That bitch was acting as an extraction. Now understand, I had my debit card in my hand. That bitch was acting as a distraction while the guy, now here's the deal. The shop clerk knew what was happening because he didn't even react to what she was doing. So you got that scenario, and then you got what that dude did also in that situation too. I will warn people though who are not aware. This whole psyop and programming mess goes as far as into the elementary school, and it does go as far as into high school. Yes, that's right. They will pay kids off to basically, try to program your kids. They'll literally have kids as agents to do this shit. TIs have long since filmed this happening. When it's literally showing these kids doing these same tactics, the same tactics of a perp. So when you got a situation like that where the perps are teaching their kids to do shit like that, it's very dangerous to have your own children around those kids because you know, as the old saying goes, one bad apple does spoil the bunch. You have someone who's trained in something like that, and then they're gonna have people who they basically decide to pick off and program at a younger age, and they're gonna have the kids to work alongside them to do it. That's been one of the biggest problems since I've done this research, and when I done this research, I come to find out stuff going even further to where they even have the gang members involved with the schools too. They're involved with the damn school system, but a lot of parents don't know about that. You ever wonder why you would see some kids in like what they like? I believe the old saying is like these cliques or whatever. So where they be in a group or whatever, they actually are playing gang bangers or whatever, and doing stupid stuff. Very stupid stuff. They get that influence from outside sources and from an inside influence. That's where that's happening. That shit didn't just happen on the whim. That shit happened systematically. It was intentional. Someone intended for that shit to happen. Someone wanted that shit to happen. This stuff happens to people who are already picked out as future targets for this sinister system. Alright, now that I've gone into enough in depth about that, let's read this article here, and I will leave a link in the description. Don't worry. Okay, so hearing system. This was a patent for something, like a Google patent or whatever. I'm not really certain what it's mainly about, but it is describing what's happening a lot to TIs. Now, before I go any farther into this, remember, I did talk to my, the guy who manages the land. I did talk to him. I showed him the proof that I showed you all on the Mischievous Sims channel. Now don't worry, there are like 2 other channels that have a lot of my content on them. So don't worry, all of that stuff is already backed up. Here's the deal though. I showed him how there were many different networks connected to my own. Sure, you would be able to see different Wi-Fi networks, but the stuff that I've seen, I should not be seeing. Now, as far as, when you scan for a Wi-Fi, you're going to see multiple things. That's what that is, of course. But the only thing that you should see active is your own on your own network. You should not be seeing anybody else's network signals active on your network. That shows that there's obviously an illegal connection to your stuff. Now, I did have the audio recording when this happened, so the fact that he would defend that, it's pretty obvious, and I don't think he realized that he put his own ass on the line by doing that. Now, here's the deal. People have separate, and I'm just going to explain this as basic as possible. People have separate bills, right? People have separate, they may get their internet service from some similar service providers, but they have their own, people generally, when they have their bills, they have their own individual network, right? Okay. Now, looking at that perspective, it makes no sense for multiple people to be connected to a single individual's network. That makes no sense. Maybe when it comes to diagnostic data for problem solving, maybe that, but that shit should be going off like somewhere long way in registered areas. I shouldn't be seeing no type of trade-off of data. I shouldn't be seeing multiple cell phone connections on my individual network, which I have seen. I should not be seeing that. I should not be seeing my GPS location bouncing up around all over the map, connecting to these different cell phone, these different nodes, these small individual towers that were basically implanted in the ground, and these low emission transceivers that were planted all over. I should not be seeing stuff like this, and I should not be seeing it basically tracking and creating a stream of radiation through this particular area. Now, how more obvious can it get? Now, understand, I asked this guy on three different occasions the same shit, and he kept saying that I don't know, I don't understand the method. I've explained it clear as day, as clear as I possibly could. So this is not just a message for TIs. This is a message for just people in general. You can't trust those